Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. This is Alex of Coyote Star Astrology, and today we're going over the full moon in Aries coming in fast on October 17th, 2024. I'm filming this on Tuesday, October 15th. These are Pacific Standard Time, so you'll want to adjust for wherever you are currently. You can see today that the moon this afternoon drifted into Aries, which means it is time for me to get this video out because the full moon is coming in really quickly. I think that we will feel a lot of the full moon energies tomorrow on October 16th on Wednesday, because the full moon itself is in the early hours around 4:30 a.m. on October 17th. So we're definitely feeling it today. I think that we'll really feel it tomorrow, and then we'll experience the climax and release on Wednesday. This full moon carries with it the energy of boiling water. There's a lot of fire, but there's also some water making some pretty interesting stress aspects to that fire. So you get the combination of that heated, surging water, which is, of course, emotion. So if you're feeling a lot at this time, you are definitely not alone. And today, with you as we go through this chart, I really want to understand deeply what is coming up so we can get all the lessons from it that we possibly can, as well as understand it in the context of the 6-month cycle that this is releasing. So I'm going to bring up the chart to the new moon that this is connected to back in April. But before I do, I just have a couple of really quick announcements. Number one, if you've been wanting to work with me one-on-one, now is a great time to reach out. My wait list is a little bit shorter than it normally is, and I know some of you don't like to wait. So if you've been wanting to jump on a reading, reach out to me at coyotestarastrology.com. And second, if you weren't able to make the shadow work course, I just posted that to the members course library, and I'm hoping to get it posted to the regular course library within the next 24 hours. I actually tried to do it today, but my internet hasn't been great. But for those of you that don't know, I run a monthly membership where you get access to my courses for free, the entire library of every course I've ever taught, including the most recent shadow work course, which I've been told by many people that took it is their favorite of mine. I think it's my favorite as well. It was a really, really powerful evening, and there's a lot of information in that course. But with membership, you get a weekly forecast, which is very similar to these reports that you get on YouTube, but they're a deeper dive Monday through Sunday. You get it there on the membership every Sunday, so you have it to start your week. Nick Xavier is our resident tarot reader. He puts out the cards associated with each moon so you can learn the tarot at the same time. There's a members community forum message board where you can go in and meet other astrologers or ask me questions. It's a really awesome space. So head on over to coyotestarastrology.com if you're interested in checking out the membership. All right, so let's take a look first at this new moon solar eclipse chart that this full moon we're about to discuss is connected to. So this new moon solar eclipse happened on April 8th of this year. So it can be really helpful to look back at the beginning of April 2024 and find out what was coming up for you. This eclipse was difficult for a lot of us. It was a north node eclipse, and north node eclipses are a challenge because it represents something that we need to learn, but we haven't necessarily learned yet. The north node is about the evolutionary growth potential, which basically means we have to jump really high because it's like the bar is being raised and we're all being asked to evolve, but it means we have to learn how to do it. We don't know how to yet. The new moon solar eclipse itself was next to Chiron. And I think this is what I really want to focus on here, is that this represented a new cycle where we were doing a lot of Chiron healing work. Now, I've said this before, Chiron is actually an energy that I can feel physically, and it has kind of that chest ache, heartbreak feeling around it often. And it represents an aspect of us that needs to heal, but maybe more importantly in this context, a wound. So this new moon solar eclipse was really asking a lot because it was asking us to start a new cycle where we really focused on ourself, Aries, and where we focused on healing a wound, a tender area. So now here we are at the climax and release and illumination of that cycle here in this full moon in Aries this week. The full moon itself is once again in the vicinity, quite close to Chiron. They're only 3 degrees apart. So this full moon in Aries illuminates the wound and illuminates the healing process and healing progress that we've done around this full moon. So I do want to say there can be an element of positivity around this full moon, particularly if you've been doing the work, if you've been focusing on healing. And this might have even been a very lonely cycle for a lot of people because the new moon solar eclipse was at the North Node in Aries, which had us necessarily having to create distance between ourselves and other people. This full moon is basically checking in and saying, how did you do? How is the wound? And it will be magnetizing situations into your life to show you that progress. What is challenging about this full moon is that the ruler is Mars. Mars is in Cancer in mutual reception with the moon. Mutual reception is when they are in each other's rulers. So the moon is in Aries, ruled by Mars. Mars is in Cancer, ruled by the moon. So there's a conversation and a relationship happening between these two. Not only that, but Mars is square the moon, square the sun, and opposite Pluto. So that's a grand square. That means that all of these planets are in a very tense configuration, which is going to rile up the shadow side of some of these archetypes. It's going to rile up the intensity of Pluto, the transformative death rebirth nature of Pluto. It's going to rile up the Aries moon and bring in that heat. It's going to rile up, I think, most significantly, what we're going to feel probably is Mars in Cancer, which is emotional. So the moon and Mars in mutual reception really accentuates this. There's going to be high emotions this week. There can be some intense emotional reactions, especially because of that Mars opposite Pluto. But I think that the two primary energies are Mars in Cancer and Chiron. While this can emotionally display the wound that we've been working on healing, the full moon does represent some type of clarity, resolution, or release. So it is sort of like this emotional final exhale of this energy. And with Venus and Scorpio opposite Uranus, this entire last week, there's definitely going to be some people experiencing change and potential turbulence within intimate relationships and coming to some realizations there as well. But overall, when we look at the whole process of the new moon in Aries conjunct Chiron leading all the way up to this full moon representing Chiron as well, this is really very obviously a cycle related to your own individual healing journey and an area of life that may have been painful and tender and raw to feel into and to heal. But this full moon is absolutely representing a key marker in that journey and trying to show you information related to that process within yourself. I think that if there was ever a week to give yourself space to rest and nurture and be tender with yourself and others, this is it. With that Mars opposite Pluto alignment, definitely be mindful of emotional reactions as emotions can be running high and hot. And, Mars in Cancer is overly sensitive sometimes and tearful when cornered or defensive when cornered. So, just give other people space to be feeling what they're feeling and, again, yourself as well. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. If you've enjoyed this video, please do give it a like and a share. I really appreciate it. Sending you all love. And if you don't already follow me on Instagram, I'm over there at Earth to Coyote for more astrology. All right, guys. Bye for now.